Today's tutorial is all about blue. I'm going to be making this beautiful necklace and it's made with several different shades of blue. Hi, my name's Carol. Welcome to my channel where I show you how easy jewellery making can really be. So let's get started and have a look at what you need to make this necklace and walk you step by step through the process. What I have in front of me is one of these beautiful 26mm foil lined coin beads. I've got 9 of these beautiful acrylic beads. Now these ones, this is what inspired this project. They have this gorgeous silver plating. They are absolutely stunning. I've got 19 of these 4mm vacuum beads. These ones are white with an AB finish. I have 8 of these gorgeous crystal rondelles, and these ones are 8x6. 17 of these 6mm silver balls, 2 of these 4mm round faceted glass beads, and I have 16 of these beautiful blue glass bicones. As well as that, I've got some 20 gauge wire. I have a magnetic clasp. Now you could use any clasp for this, not necessarily a magnetic one. And I've got 4 head pins. So let's get started and make this necklace. The first thing I'm going to do is make the little dangles on the end of the focal. So if you have a look at the focal here, see it's got these little dangles. So that's what we're going to do first. I realized I forgot to tell you what we need in terms of tools. I always do that. I am going to be using my one-step looper to make the loops for this because there's quite a few of them and it makes it faster. I'm also going to be using some chain nose pliers, some flush cutters and round nose pliers. If you don't have a one-step looper, you can always do it with just a pair of round nose pliers. Alright, so we're going to start off with making our little dangles. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed on one of my vacuum beads here, the little 4mm ones, and I'm just going to use my one-step looper to make a loop in the wire. So I've threaded it onto my head pin and I'm making the loop. If you haven't used a one-step looper before, I'll leave a link in the description box and in a card up here to the video that talks about making loops with your one-step looper. So there's my loop and you can see that it's not closed up, and that sometimes happens with the one-step looper. So I'm just going to take my chain nose pliers and close it. And I'm going to do that by holding it on the side, holding the bead between my thumb and my forefinger and just wiggling up and down, pushing towards the wire to close it. What I'll do is I'll also leave you a link to the video all about loops so that you can know, if you haven't made loops before, you can figure that one out as well. Alright, so I'm going to make another one here. Same process, and then I'm just going to make 2 of the blue ones. For some reason my one-step looper actually failed me on that occasion, so I'm going to make the loop with my, that's what happened, I'm going to make the loop with my chain nose plier, with my round nose pliers. So just forming it into the loop the way I would normally do with my round nose pliers. Haven't had that happen before. That's interesting. Alright, now I have 4 little dangles and I'm going to attach them to my focal bead here. So to do that, I'm actually going to be using some wire. So I'm just cutting off a piece of wire and I'm going to make a loop in the bottom. The same method I've been using before. And I'm going to open my loop just by, actually I'm going to use both pairs of chain nose pliers for this. because I don't want to destroy my loop. I've got little bits of wire everywhere. So to do that, I'm going to hold it on one side with one pair and one side with the other, like that, and I'm just going to twist up with my with one hand so that I can, down with one hand so that I can pop these on. So I'm going to alternate them. So I'm putting on one white one, whoops, I missed, one white one and one blue one, one white one and a blue one, like that, and now I'm going to close up the loop. I'm just using my one pair of chain nose pliers this time because I've got a little, there's no way I could have fitted my other pair in that loop to hold it. So that's what I have now. Alright, now I'm going to put on my beads. So my large coin bead goes on first, and then I am going to use one of my beautiful acrylic beads, straightening out that wire as I go, a silver bead and a white one, just like that. It's a bit wiggly, but we can straighten. You know, the one thing I love about wire is you can manipulate it however you want. Alright, so now I'm going to make a wire wrapped loop on the top. If you haven't made one before, I will leave a link in the description for a video on how to do that as well, and also a card up here. Alright, so I'm holding my component there, the wire between my chain nose pliers, and I'm just going to bend the wire to a right angle, like that. Now I'm going to take my round nose pliers, actually spin it around, and I'm going to make a good size loop in the top here. Now obviously the larger the loop I want, the further away from the points I go. So I'm going to go about, I don't know, that's a little bit over 1 centimetre away from the end, and I'm going to push my wire all the way around until I have that. Now I'm going to take my pliers out and reposition on the bottom jaw, and I'm going to push the wire so that it's at a right angle. Now I'm going to take both my pairs of chain nose pliers. Actually, I'm going to switch, just simply because one pair is more comfortable for me to hold than the other. And I'm going to take that tail and wrap it around. Oopsie. Now I've left it a little short, so hopefully I'll have enough to wrap it around. It's always best when you leave yourself a little bit more of a tail than this. I might actually be able to just push it now. All right. Now I'm going to tuck that end in using my chain nose pliers, because I don't want to cut it off because it's actually too short. So learn from my mistake, cut your wire a little bit longer than I did. Okay. Now when I rub my finger over it, I can't feel it, so that's what I'm after, and that's what I have now. Okay, so that's my focal component. Now the rest of this necklace is made up from 2 other components. So we've got here this component here with the crystal bicones and crystal rondelle, and we've got this component here with the acrylic vacuum beads, silver ball, and the acrylic silver plated bead. So I will show you how to make those and how to join them up. So taking some more wire, and I'm going to cut a piece off. Oops. And make a loop in the end. Just like that. and just double check that it's closed. There you go. Now I'm going to pop on one of my little bicones, one of my crystal rondelles, and another bicone. Oopsie, can't seem to find the hole in that one. So like that, and now I'm going to make a loop in the other end. One thing to note with your one-step looper is you can't get it, sometimes if you get it too close you can shatter the bead, so just be a little bit careful about that. And I'm going to close up that loop. So there's my first component. So next I'm going to make the other component. So I'm going to take a piece of wire, make a loop in one end. It's just basically a repeat of the process I just did. Now my one-step looper hasn't cut the wire, so I'm going to just go in there with my flush cutters and do that. And the reason it didn't do that is because I didn't line it up properly. Sometimes I was trying to save wire by not pushing it all the way through. Okay, make sure it's closed. All right, this time we're going with a white bead, a silver bead, the acrylic silver, whoops, and another white. And I'm going to go in with my one-step looper and make another loop in the end. Oops. So there's that component there. So there's my two. Now I'm going to join them together, and I'm going to do that just by opening the loop in one end of this component and popping this one on and closing the loop, making sure it's really well closed. So that's what I have now. So what I need to do now is I need to make some more of those components. So I need, on either side, I need 4 of the crystals and 4 of the acrylics. So I need 8 in total. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away and I'm going to make all of those, because you don't need to watch me making those, and join them all together so that I have this, and then I'll come back. All right, now I have my 2 strands made up of all my components, and you can see I've got 4 of my acrylic beads components and 4 of my crystals on either side. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to join them to my focal, and I'm going to do that by taking the crystal end and opening the loop, and I'm going to pop on my wire wrapped loop of my focal and close it up just like that. Now I'm going to repeat that with the other one. So there we go, that's what I have now, and all that's left to do is put on the clasp. So I'm just going to open the loops and do that too. Now I could have used a jump ring here, and maybe if you were using another clasp you might want to do that, but for this particular clasp, this magnetic one, we don't need a jump ring. I'm just popping it on there. And as you can see, every time I get close to the clasp, it's going to stick to my pliers, so I'm just going to hold it between my thumb and my little finger there while I work with it, just closing it up. And just repeat for the other side. Now this necklace looks really, really impressive, but it's actually quite easy to do if you know how to make loops. And loops are pretty easy. They take practice. If you're not using your one-step looper, they do take practice, but that's okay. You know, practice makes perfect. It took me ages to learn how to make good loops. All right, So there is my necklace, and it will, it's kind of sitting a bit weird, sitting down here, but it will hang really nicely. So there you go, one gorgeous blue necklace with this gorgeous focal and these little dangles. I love them. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of my jewellery making, it would be great if you could subscribe to my channel and like the video, and of course ring the bell so that you'll be notified when I upload new tutorials, which is generally about once a week. Also, leave me a comment and let me know if you liked this video, what you liked, and also what you'd like to see me make in the future, because sometimes I run out of inspiration and it's really nice to have some help in that regard. Also, check out our Instagram and our Facebook page, and I'll leave links in the description below, along with links to everything you need to make this necklace. It's been lovely having you along today. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.